All right, so this is another journal entry. It's June 16th, 2026, and these are just some thoughts that have been on my mind in case I want to look back and figure out what I was thinking at the time while I was learning all this movement type of stuff. Basically, there's been a lot on my mind lately, so I'm not sure how to structure this journal entry as to what to say. I don't like when I start trying to explain myself. I should just explain what's on my mind, or just say what's on my mind. So one thing I've been thinking about is my own style. And I feel like I've been too concerned with what other people are doing, and I've kind of forgotten what originally made this exciting for me and fun, and that is to just kind of move however I want. It doesn't matter how it is or what it is. I don't have to try and fit into some definition or some specific style. I feel like I've been kind of thinking too much as far as what other people might think of what I do. That shouldn't be something I think too much about. Also, another thing is I've been judging myself too much, seeing is this good, is this bad, is this what can I change to make it better, and that sort of thing. And I was reminded of my artwork and drawing and that sort of thing, and how if you become too analytic about it, it stops being fun, because you're training yourself to criticize yourself, essentially, by the process of criticism and criticizing yourself. It just reinforces that type of thinking, so that whenever you're doing it, instead of just enjoying what it is, no matter how good it is or bad it is, you're instead falling into that pattern or that trap of judging yourself. And I have to be careful not to be too critical of myself, and just allow myself to have fun and enjoy just the process of moving. Another thing that I've been thinking about lately is this location that I'm in is a really good location, because there's not much distraction. I have this wall to this side, and there's a path behind it that people walk on, but it's blocking their view, so I don't have to worry about people looking at me so much from this side. From this other side, it's open, but there's this there's wide open space, so there's not too much going on over there. And if there are people there, they're at a far distance. And you can see there's a trail that goes over there, and even though people can see me while they're walking, I can kind of back up if I want to, and kind of hug the wall a bit to make myself a little bit less, to make myself not stand out as much. I tend to be self-conscious of things a bit too much, and that's something I have to work on. But I was thinking where else could I go, because I feel it's a bit limiting just to be in one spot, and there aren't too many other places that I can go. So this also ties back with being too critical and judgmental of things and not just enjoying it, right? I should feel grateful that there is a spot that I have that's very nice, has nice smooth floor and a lot of space, so I can kind of do my larger movements. Another thing is, but anyways, I want to work on being capable of doing this movement stuff in other places, regardless of the topology of the location and what other people might be thinking and that sort of stuff. So I have to become more comfortable just doing it. And I thought like maybe if I get better at it, I could feel more comfortable or more confident. But that's the thing that programs me to try and think, how can I be better? Why am I not good enough? That sort of thing. And I don't want to fall into that pattern, because that ends up ruining your ability to enjoy things, I feel. Just based on experience of other creative forms of art that I've done in the past, in regards to like drawing and being more of a illustrative sort of artist. Being too analytical of it, it makes it difficult to look at what others are doing, because you start comparing yourself to what they do, and I don't want to fall into that trap. So I just want to like be able to enjoy what I do, basically. So I need to figure out the best way to do that. There's a lot of things that I'm thinking about. There's something else. Oh yeah. So like I do larger movements. I've been trying to figure out or get a good feeling of like larger spatial movements and relativity with how the form of my body changes and that sort of thing as I change poses and positions and that sort of thing. So it got me thinking about this concept of depth. I've mentioned it in a past journal entry, but that also led me to realize that you could go the opposite direction. Instead of adding depth, you remove depth and you make it more flat. And so that's another thing that I'm kind of experimenting with, is going from more of a wide open spatial depth sort of concept and going to more like flat movements where I kind of imagine that I'm moving on a flat plane. It kind of like causes these kind of contort your body in different ways. So that's just something I'm experimenting with. And then there's another concept that I have where I call it channeling. So we have depth, we have this other like plane, I call it plane, but it's just like the opposite of depth. And then there's like this channeling, and I haven't really explored it too much yet, but like basically I imagine like 2 points or 2 sides, and then I use my body in between those to kind of transfer energy, or just kind of play with the space inside the 2 sides, kind of channeling like just the motion or whatever I'm focusing on. So whatever, like I still need to experiment it. It's just like a concept or some idea that I have. So I'm probably forgetting some stuff that's on my mind, but anyways, and I didn't really structure it too well, but I figure I have to do these journal entries just to kind of just do them, and whether they're bad or good or not, it's just there in case you want to listen. I know that some people don't like listening to other people explain stuff, and then there are people that really like listening to people explain stuff. So I'm just putting it out there in case this is, that's the thing. That's something I'm struggling with, is these journal entries are supposed to be for me, just to kind of record what I'm thinking in case I want to look back on stuff. But then I realize other people might be watching what I'm recording, so maybe I should try and give some sort of insight into stuff. But then that kind of defeats the purpose of just recording my thoughts. So I don't know. I'm like in this confused like struggle, trying to figure out what this sort of journal sort of thing is. But anyways, that's just some other thoughts that I've been having. But like as far as like doing other locations, that sort of thing, and working on being able to kind of express myself without worrying about what other people are doing around me, or whether they're watching me and that sort of thing. I'm thinking maybe I could branch that off into another playlist, just because I feel like maybe that might help people that are dealing with a similar situation, and it might be good to follow that process. So that's something I'm thinking about maybe doing. I have to think about how I'm going to do that. But yeah, so this is just another journal entry. I guess it's a journal entry. It's June 16th, 2026. Yeah, so that's all for today.